Dear Masters, let's start our session. Welcome, everyone. Good evening to everybody. So, we were listening to the Untold story of Sita, chapter 7, Adjusting to Ayodhya. So, as I mentioned, I will recap the chapter a little bit so you guys know where I stopped it last time. So, as I mentioned last time, that Meenakshi, Rohana, Usha, and Suma, they all had come with Sita Mata to Ayodhya from Mithila. And they were comparing Mithila with Ayodhya, how their lives were different, how things were different, how people were different. And all this time, Meenakshi and Soma, they felt that love was missing between them. And Raja Janak, the way he had treated his family, because he had one wife. On the other hand, here in Ayodhya, things were different because there were three wives in the palace, three mother-in-laws in the palace, and how the love was divided between Raja Dashrath and his wives, and how things were different. And they could also sense some part of jealousy. And there came a point when Soma heard the news that Mata will be sent to the exile in the jungles with Ramji and Lakshman. So they were very upset. All four of them were very upset that they will have to be away with Mata. And so Meenakshi is the oldest one of all four. And Meenakshi says, Mata, I will not be able to live without you. 14 years, I don't even know that I will be alive for next 14 years, because that's a long time because I'm so much older. So Mata takes them to one, Mata had a little room behind her bedroom, like a shrine, like a temple. So with her hand, she puts her hands together like a prayer, like praying hands, and she generates a fire with that. And so that was Mata's way to communicate with her four of them while she was gone for 14 years. So she told all four of them to take care of this shrine, this fire, that the jot that came out of her hands, and she put it like in a place in front of in like a temple to make a shrine. And she said, this is the way I will be communicating with you. And she says, you don't need any ghee, oil, or anything to put in there. You just have to be with this. So they assign like a time, like 4 hours. One staff will be there, and there's another 4 hours. So somebody has to be there with that fire. Come check on the fire, and the fire will always be there. And this little flame kept on burning until Mata was touched by Ravan. When Ravan tried to grab Mata, at that point, that flame went away, and the connection was lost between Mata and the staff and her staff. So Soma and then Mata assigns everybody the jobs. So who cares for what? Mata tells them that, after we leave, we don't want the mother-in-laws or the rest of the family to miss them. So she says the life has to move on in a certain way. Here I feel there is a lesson to be learned. Yes, sometimes we lose our loved ones, but the life has to move on, right? So in this case, they are not leaving their body, but still the loss is as good as that, because they're a newly wedded couple. For a mother, her son just for the two mothers here, the kids just got married. The life has to start in a good way. But the sad part is the kids are leaving, one of the daughter-in-law is leaving. So there's a very sad situation. So what I get a deeper meaning at this point is, when somebody passes away, yes, it will be very hard, especially if it's your loved one. You should try to keep the life moving on in a positive way. And so Mata assigns all four of them some jobs. So Mata says to Soma, you have to take care of Kaushalyama, because after Ramji will leave, she will be, very sad. So you have to take care of her, make sure everything is taken care for her. And then she tells Rohana, you will be taking care of Sumitra Ma. Sumitra was a highly devotee to Mahadev. And so make sure she has her flowers ready, her puja stuff ready, everything is there for her. So you have to take care of that. And then she says that Meenakshi says, who do I take care of? And Meenakshi got the toughest of the cup of tea here. She says, you have to can you please take care of Kakai? Meenakshi was so mad. She's like, the woman who is the reason for me and your separation, you expect me to take care of her? That is not possible. Mata says, this is a very important part, so I will repeat it so you guys all understand very clearly. Mata says it only appears that she is the cause of our going to exile. But the real thing is that she is only a vehicle for our departure because she is mentally weak. She's not a devotee, she's not a meditator. So when somebody is mentally weak, that's where the demons or the negative energy, demons is parallel meaning for negative energy. That is where the negative energy takes control over your mind. And this is why she becomes the vehicle and not the other two mother-in-laws. So being a devotee, you get positive thoughts. So another point, as Patrisar says, the very big point of meditation is our positive thoughts. And but Mata also explains that behind every misfortune is a hidden blessing. So this is the sentence that Janak Baba had taught her. And I mentioned when I said this sentence the first time that I will be repeating this sentence again and again because Mata repeats it. Either Mata repeats it and then Love and Kush will also repeat this sentence. So this is also a lesson for everyone to hear in your lives that any misfortune that comes in our lives, there's always a hidden blessing behind it. So Mata explains the blessing. Mata says this journey through jungles is necessary because hermitages are being attacked by the demons, and somebody needs to preserve this civilization. A new civilization is coming, is going to be born soon. We must do our part and save that, be a part of that rebirth of the new civilization. And and she was explaining to her staff all this. On the other end, then she went, Sita Mata goes and meets with Kaushalyama. Kaushalyama is very sad. She says, okay, Sita, I understand Ram and Lakshman have to go because Ramji has to go because of the promise. Lakshman wants to be there for her brother. I do understand. But what do I tell your father that I got your daughter from your house to my house as a form of a daughter-in-law, and now I'm sending you like a saint, like a saint woman back in the exile. You know, what will Raja Janak think of us? So Sita Mata says, don't worry about that, Ma. I already took permission from Janak Baba. Kaushalya Ma was shocked. She says, is Janak Baba visiting the palace? Does he know all about this? So Sita Ma says, no, he's not visiting, but I have the relationship with my father that whenever I invoke him in my meditation, I can talk to him. And so she says that I don't do anything without seeking my father's permission, and I have my blessings from my father that I can go with Ram to the exile. So, and then that their time of departure comes, and they were ready to leave. As we see in the Ramanand Ramayana Sagar, everybody follows them. That part is true. And Soma is calm. So, Soma is the most calm one at this point. And the other three of them are really sad, and they try to follow Sita Mata along with the other people in the kingdom. And Soma stops the three of them and she says, do you remember the part where Mata says that this is a part of their journey, that the reason they were born, one of the reasons why they were born on this earth, and we should not be the hindrance. We should give Mata love and blessings and send her off in a happy way. So that ends my chapter 7. So we will start with the sad part of the chapter, death in Ayodhya. There's a one clause in this chapter, one part in this chapter that really gives me chills. So that this is why, even though this chapter is a little sad because a lot of deaths happen in this chapter, it's a little heavy chapter, I would say. And if you guys feel that you're having a hard time sleeping, please do meditate, do some grounding, drink a lot of water. I would suggest that. But one part of that chapter will give you a little relief that yes, there is Mata still alive between us. And Dina ma'am, when I visited with her, she says, you just have to learn to see and feel around you. Mata is still living between us. We just need to find her the way, and Mata will give you answers in your real life. So just look into it. So we'll start the chapter, Death in Ayodhya. So this chapter is again told by Meenakshi. So Meenakshi says we were all having hard time dealing with the new reality that Mata and Ramji have left the kingdom. And we were all in still state of shock. And Soma was the only one among us who had little sense, and all the guidance and all the instructions that Mata had given us, all she remembered was Soma. And Soma was basically trying to remind us, you have to do this, you have to do that. Between all the instructions, Mata also suggested, this is a very important part, the important part where my story that I was telling you in the beginning is linked to. Mata said, make sure you take my clothes out every day, my jewelry out every day, the way you take care of me, like, she spreads it while Mata is in the shower, the clothes are on the bed or wherever, they take it out, matching jewelry, all the prasad that is being cooked for the Mata's prayer ceremonies, bring the flowers, cook whatever is being cooked in daily basis when Ramji was there, all his favorite foods or somebody else's favorite food, whatever the routine was, keep sure to keep up that routine. And so Soma gets busy taking care of Kaushalema, and all the Rohana and everybody, whoever was instructed to take care of, was doing it. But Minakshi here says, I had to create a compassion in myself to take care of Kakai, because she, this woman, she thinks that Kakai is the reason that Mata is away from her. So hate is a very small word in this point. She says that I feel hatred towards her, so I had to cut off that hatred in my heart and create a compassion, love. Sometimes another part that I like this about this part is that sometimes in our life, we also have some negative person. We cannot cut our ties with them. It could be anybody. It could be sometimes our own children that are creating a toxic environment in our house. So we cannot cut our ties. And sometimes we're like, hey, it's my child. I have to love them no matter what. And the good thing is, the more we give them love, they will come to us. You just have to see art inside us. And that's the power of meditation. It helps us to come look us inside of us, right? So she says, I have to create the compassion. And of course, their long time maid mantra that was there, she was kicked out of the town because she was initially the who brought this idea to Kakai. So she was kicked out of the kingdom. So she had nobody to take care of her. And Raja Dashrath, on the other hand, the king Dashrath was bedridden now. He was not feeling well. So other two wives were busy taking care of him. And nobody had paid attention to Kakai. So Kakai was very lonely. Kakai didn't come out of her palace. Days would pass by, she would not eat. I would go drop the food at her entrance of her room, but I was too scared. Her room was shut dark. There was no lights in her. It felt like, ghost house at that point. And I was very scared. And every time I would go put the plate, I see the plate is full. I would still bring the food and switch the food. Then one day she comes out and she says, who is this? Who's bringing me the food? Before I could say anything, oh, so you are the new maid from the Mithila. And the way Kakai talked to her, Minakshi was scared. Nobody had talked to Minakshi. Raja Janak had loved her like a daughter. Mata Sunana loved her like a daughter. Sita Mata loved her like a friend. So nobody had taken a higher tone with her. So Minakshi was very scared at that time. And she just ran by, couldn't answer her. And then she came and she started crying. And she says, Mata, where was I wrong? Why did you assign me this kind of a duty? What kind of karma I'm dealing here? And so Soma hears her voice and Soma says, Mata always takes care of everybody. Mata will not give you any problem in life if she doesn't think you are not able to deal. Another lesson to learn here. God will never give you any problem in life that they don't think that you are not capable of. And sometimes our masters always test us. They want to test us to see where we stand. Do we? And sometimes we, with that problem, as I Mata has repeatedly said, or Raja Janak had taught Mata repeatedly, behind every misfortune there is some blessing. So she says, I don't know how to deal with this woman. Soma, Meenakshi says to Soma, I really don't know how to deal with this woman. She's so toxic. I cannot handle her. I don't know what kind of guilt she's dealing with, but I cannot handle her. So one day Soma tells Meenakshi that before Mata left, she said a very important thing. Mata had said, Soma, this human body will know fear and deprivation, but it will also know the strength and conviction and courage, and it will all overcome all the fear and obstacles in life. So keep on doing what is best for you, what you feel you're doing best for the other person, that toxic person, and eventually your fear will overcome. And Minakshi says that sentence that Soma told me that Mata had mentioned to her before leaving gave me a lot of courage and strength. And I kept on going, taking care, trying to do my part, what Mata had told me to take care of Kakai. And so one day, Kakai came to me and she says, "You can come inside and clean my room." And I was very shocked. I went inside. Her room was a mess, hadn't been clean. She was so guilty what she had done by sending Ramji. The whole palace life was disturbed by sending all three of them to exile. So the guilt was, bothering her so much. She didn't care of her. Her hair was dirty. She hadn't taken a bath in so many days. So she took care of them, and the things were a little bit calmer on that end. And then one day, Soma says, "Now you don't need to take care of Kakai anymore. I got a message through that fire that Mata says that she's sending a new servant, and so you don't need to take care of Kakai anymore." Then Meenakshi says, "Did I do something wrong that Mata got upset and she sent a new maid for me?" So Soma says, "No." Mata says, "Your responsibility at this point is over. Mata never asked us to do more than we can manage, and Mata knows it all." So that gives her a relief to Meenakshi that did her job right. And after a few days, after a couple of days later, Raja Dashrath leaves his body. At this point, after Bharat goes to the jungle to see if Raja Ram can come back, if Ramji and Sita and Lakshman can come back. Meenakshi was overjoyed. She was very happy that now things will be back to normal. Ram and Sita will come back. But Soma was the only one. She says, "I can assure you they are not coming back." "Oh, you're not happy that Mata is going to come back?" Meenakshi says. Soma says, "Don't you remember Mata saying that Ram would find a way to instill his presence in the kingdom and to protect against the forces that would attack or we try to weaken Ayodhya?" So when she says, Somas knew that they were not going to come back. And so, of course, Bharat came empty hand. And Bharat only brought Ramji's sandals. In Hindi, they call them khadaon. They're wooden slippers with a little knob to put the thumb in there. So only the Ramji sandals. So that was the energy that Ramji had sent through Bharat. And that energy saved Ayodhya because, of course, everybody, all the neighboring kingdoms knew that the king is not there. Raja Dashrath passed away. Bharat is in shock that there's no father. The brother has left. So they thought Ayodhya is a weaker place and easy target to be win over. But Raja Ram's sandals, they worked as a energy and they helped. And of course, there were other friends that they had and they had fighting and they saved Ayodhya. And on the other end, Mata was giving instructions through that flame. So both husband and wife had this source of energy to protect Ayodhya while they were still gone. So she says, Meenakshi says, "Our life at this point were becoming puppets. A few years have passed now after Mata has gone. It's almost 3 years to be exact that Mata has gone. Rohana one day was taking care of the flame that Mata had put down, and she got a message that her sister in Mithila is really sick. So Rohana starts crying that I want to really go visit my sister. And so Soma talks to Kashalyama and things were arranged for Rohana to leave. So out of 4 maids, one maid, we don't hear about it anymore. So Rohana goes back and that's the end of Rohana in this book. The next one now, 5 more years have gone by. So for Mata, so almost 8 years now. And Usha one day she suddenly gets ill and she leaves her body. So out of 4, there's 2 left, Soma and Meenakshi. So far 2 deaths in this chapter. So Meenakshi says as she's aging, her eyesight is getting very weak. And she doesn't want to tell this to Soma because Soma has already too much responsibilities on her head. So she says, I don't want to give her one more information that, hey, my eyes are getting weak. I cannot help you as much as you expect me to do. So she didn't want to say that to Soma. So she hid her situation. So one day when she was getting up while she was sitting and praying near the flame, she was getting up. She almost tripped and Soma was there right on time to save her. So Soma says, how long has this been going on? Going what? Meenakshi says. Your weakening of the eyes, she says, it's been few days. Why did you not tell me? I would have taken care of you. Now I give you instructions to just lay down in your bed, relax, and just take it easy. You don't need to do so much things around the house, around the palace. So then Soma brings a certain kind of a herb. So Soma was very close and a high meditator like Sita Mata. I mean, sorry, not as Sita Mata, but as close as Mata. And she was on a same wavelength. Like Mata and Soma had a connection, like where they could talk and to each other. So she brings some herbs and she gives them to Minakshi to drink or use to or apply to her eyes. So Minakshi says, where did you get these herbs from? Oh, Mata instructed me to get these herbs for you. And Minakshi says, after almost just in about a week's time, I feel a lot of difference in my eyes. I could see back in a normal way. So one day Minakshi says to Soma, I really want to go see the Saryu, go and be around Saryu River. So they both go to the Saryu River and they see the place that Mata had visited had become a shrine in a way that all the women of Ayodhya, they would come and pray in the morning. And so in the future chapters, you guys will hear from me that this prayers, that the energy, that positive energy that they are creating all these women, initially they started as a safety for their prince and the princess Sita and Lakshmanji, but this positive energy turned out to be a safety net for Mata while she was with Ravan. So they were very surprised. The woman that they barely know, Sita was there for a very short time, but in short time, Mata had given so much love to the people that all these women, before they started their day, they would come and just pray for Mata, just to create that positive energy. And then now she says, now a few more years have left, has been gone by, Mata has left. Minakshi says, I'm still getting weaker day by day, and I don't think I can see Mata before I leave my body. And she says, one day I felt like, sometimes, we have we want to meet somebody. Did that person says they will meet me? Did Mata promise me? So Minakshi feels that way. Minakshi says, I think Mata told me that before I leave my body, she will come see me one time before I leave my body. So Soma hears her murmuring by her talking to herself. So Soma says, what are you talking about? She says, I think I have a feeling. I think I was in so much in state of shock, confusion, all that in that time period. I think Mata promised me that she will come visit me before she leaves her body. Soma confirms, yes, I heard that too. So Mata promised me that, Mata promised you that she will visit you before you leave your body. So Soma is smiling at this point, and Soma says, you should go to the Saryu River. So this is the part that I was telling you is a very good part of the book and gives me chills. And so she says, why do you want me to go to the Saryu River? She says, I don't know. I feel like you should go visit Saryu River. So Minakshi says that the palace work keeps me busy for a few days, but eventually I get time to go to Saryu River. So when she reaches Saryu River, she breaks down there and she goes, Mata, why did you leave me? Sometimes when you're alone, it's peaceful, you get to know yourself, you're trying to that whole environment, imagine that peace and calm of the river. She sits down first calmly and then she eventually walks into the river. She's standing in the middle of the river and she's just crying and sobbing, Mata, why you have to leave me? Why I feel so misfortunate that you left me. All of a sudden, Minakshi feels a pat on her back and she turns around, she sees Sita Mata. Mata is standing to her, like face to face. And Mata takes out her shawl and puts it on Minakshi. She says, why are you standing in this cold water? You will get cold. Come, let's go out of the water. And Mata says, you will be okay. I'm here for you. And before Minakshi could realize what just happened, she sees Mata running towards the jungle and then Mata disappears. She's in state of shock. Is this the part where Mata says she'll come visit her before she leaves the body? She's still confused. In that state of confusion, she comes to the palace. And now Soma, who, as I said, is a meditator and she knows what's going on, she says, where did you get Mata's shawl? She says, I don't know. I think Mata gave it to me. Where did Mata will come from? She says. Meenakshi says, I don't know. This is what happened when I was at the Saryu River, and I have no idea, but I have Mata's shawl, so I'm assuming Mata gave it to me. So Soma starts laughing and she tries to hide her smile and she goes, did you take it from Mata's bedroom? She says, why would I want to do that, Meenakshi, Soma? Do you think I'm that kind of a person? I'm going to take Mata's shawl and wear all about it? No, I didn't do anything. So at that point, Soma takes Meenakshi's hand and leads her to the bedroom. On the edge of the bed where Mata's lehenga, the skirt was, and where the part where Mata was standing in the water, that part of lehenga was wet. So far, so good, everybody? Give me a thumbs up. This is my bone chilling point of the story. This part is my favorite part. Everybody get it? So the part where Mata was standing with the Meenakshi in the river, that part of Lenga was wet with water, while the Lenga was still the skirt, Lenga skirt, that skirt was sitting in Mata's bedroom. So it was wet, and that was a sign that Mata was there. And Meenakshi just sat down sobbing with happiness that Mata gave her her last, she fulfilled her wish. And that feeling was a very, very amazing feeling for her. I wish I can see my gods in my prayers like this, and that real feeling. Yes, I have seen them in my visions, but this is like sounds so amazing. If I picture it, it is amazing feeling. Just the reading part is so amazing. Imagine if it happens to somebody like me or you. So this was like a very cool feeling. So this shawl, I laid it here, she says, and now you have it. So Mata was actually there. She says, now I understand why you wanted me to go to the Saryu Nadi. Mata wanted me to have the real experience, to see her, and she came to bless me. This is her sign for me. So Soma says, yes, you're right. This experience had given her a lot of peace and comfort, and she felt very nice. And she says, now I can die in peace. But we are all humans, right? We always have one last wish. So our Meenakshi here also has one last wish. And she says, Soma, I wish, I came to from Mithila to Ayodhya, but I could never feel that this Ayodhya is mine. I don't feel that this place, I belong to this place. I wish there comes a time that I would feel that this place is mine, that I can call this my own dharti. I can call this as my own birthplace. I don't have that feeling. I don't have that connection with Ayodhya. Even though Mata brought us here, but you guys have all settled in and have converted from, okay, this is our, even it's not the birthplace, we have settled in. I know a lot of Indians who have been living in America for so long and they still feel that they are not happy here. And what I heard from all these meditation sessions that I hear, that unless you accept this place, you will not have that abundance in your life. If I say no, if I'm earning here and my kids are growing here, my husband's prospering here, my business is prospering here, then I'm not saying forget your family. I have my parents, I have my two sisters, my aunts, everybody's in India. I'm the only one here. But I'm not saying forget all that. But don't have that, oh, I miss it so much that I don't want to live here anymore. Don't give that negative vibe. Otherwise, you will never feel abundant in your life. So, but that's what's happening to Meenakshi. She's not feeling that comfort feeling that birthplace is the only place I can call it my own. She doesn't want to move her roots anywhere. So she has that one desire always in there. And she says, I know Mata was here. I know everything is perfect here, but still I don't call this place as mine. So she says, do you think I will ever be able to call this place Soma here? So she says, yes, Meenakshi, you will. Don't worry about it. There will be a time when you will be able to see this place as yours. And so one silly question Meenakshi asked Soma, will you be here when I come back? So Meenakshi Soma just takes a back and she takes a pause and she says, yes, I will be. And she says, Meenakshi says, Soma was my best friend. She's my sister. She's my everything to me. She's all the relations I have. She has already lost her father. She found out her mother was committed suicide. Her brother died in the river. So Soma was everything to her, especially after Mata left. And she says, Soma says that, don't worry about things. Mata loved herself. Another lesson to learn. Mata loved herself, and that's why she could spread love. always love yourself first. If you want your family, your workers, co-workers, or your society, universe to love you, love yourself first. Then only everybody else will love you. And Mata has never discriminated, oh, you are a plant, you are animal, you're human, you are short, you are fat, nothing. Mata gave love to everybody in the same way. And that is why, the world is such a beautiful place. And this is why this planet is such a beautiful place, because Mata loved herself. So always, always love yourself. And then Minakshi says, few more days later, and I feel like I have no more life left in me. I take a promise from Soma that will be here for Mata when Mata comes back. Be here. Promise me you will be here to welcome her on my behalf as well as you. And that with that, Minakshi says, one more body leaves this earth, and I am all gone from here. And Minakshi leaves her body. To recap this chapter, don't forget Minakshi is gone, my friends, but Minakshi has a mole and Minakshi has a long hair. Because when the new Minakshi comes in a form of Ansuya, so her rebirth in our next chapter will be rebirth in Ayodhya. She will come in form of Ansuya, but the soul is same. Soul never dies. Soul remains the same, and she will have her mole. She will have her long hair, and that's how Soma. Of course, she's a meditator. She will recognize her either way, but that's like a stamping part that yes, this is you. So Soma will be there to welcome Minakshi in our next chapter. For this, I will wrap up my session for tonight. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you, my friends, my masters. And if you guys have any questions, the platform is all open for you.
Thank you very much, Surbhi madam. That was really, really, awesome session. I have read this book, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, and it was, really all the memories are, coming back from that book. Actually, how I felt when I was reading that book, like every chapter, every paragraph, it has so much wisdom in it, right? Like
Yes, yes,
in just this 30 minutes I had like so much wisdom in it, like every misfortunes you have,
yes,
you have the blessings coming. It's just a way of universe telling to us that, in each misfortune you have something bigger to come
bigger.
forward, always love you. And like you are telling each one, right? It's like so much wisdom. It's just a story of Sita itself is really, it just brought me so many memories when I was reading the book. So it was
Yes,
really nice, Ravi madam. So maybe I wanted to ask you one thing.
yes, please.
So when Sita Ma was leaving to Ayodhya, so she asked her staff to, do the daily chores, like, clean her room, to the, dress, whatever they were doing before. So at that time, I mean, I had a question like, what was the big purpose? I understand she cares for their staff, and maybe, she's trying to keep them in their spirit so that they don't lose themselves. But do you think, is there any higher, meaning or purpose besides that?
I remember the part where I said Minakshi, the lenga, the skirt was all
Ha,
wet. So she wanted to make Minakshi realize that I'm still there. Even when we
ha,
met, and plus, when if they're doing the daily chores, as you said, the first part, it will keep them busy and their minds off that they're gone, right? And keep their jobs intact, because if there's no jobs, they will have to be, who knows? I mean, Kaushalya Ma was not a kind of a person, but if in daily routine, if somebody leaves, if we have extra guests, we hire extra help in this lifetime, right? But if we don't have extra guests, we will let go of the staff. So the job could be an issue, that, that caring part that comes from Mata. But the second part is that Mata wanted to communicate through that flame, and Mata wanted her staff to be there. And Minakshi, the skirt story was that her jewelry, her everything should be in there. And plus, when the adults in the family are all so much grieving that Raja Dashrath left his body, and so now there are three widows there. So if the things are as it is, they might have little bit, peace in their mind. Yes, in a hope that they will come back. Mata always wanted to have that hope intact for her mother-in-laws, that yes, we are coming back, we haven't left you. Because sometimes, when you're in a grieving mode, you forget that God is there. We always, the first instant, what humans will do, oh Bhagwan, why did you do this to me? Why I did wrong? What karma I did that I have to face this kind of a situation. That's what our reaction is. Yes, when coming in the meditation, we try to find the deeper purpose and find out, what is the hidden blessing behind this misfortune. Like 1 year ago, I had this problem and I didn't know what happened to me, why this happened to me. And now, when 1 year later, now I know the purpose where I am today was because of that problem. So that problem doesn't seem like a problem anymore. And I feel like, I have passed through so many hurdles in life. This is nothing. I can handle this. With the help of meditation, we can handle so many things. It's not that we don't get sad. Yes, we get sad. It's not that the problems don't come to us. Yes, problem comes to us, but with the answers. So I think Mata wanted, back to your question, Mata wanted her staff to be in a peaceful situation, rest of the family members, because Lakshman's wife, she went into deep meditation. Lakshman did not sleep for most of the exile while they were in exile, because he was protecting Ramji and Sita and all the jungles and the hermitages and saving everybody from demons. And where was he getting all these energies? Lakshman's wife was doing was a heavy meditator, big time meditator. And those energies she was sending to her husband. I went while growing up, I used to wonder what kind of life a daughter-in-law would have. The husband's gone for 14 years and she's taking care of the mother-in-laws and being alone. But now, after reading this book, it makes all the sense that she was meditating and giving all the energies to her husband. I didn't know under all these meanings of the energies when I was not in the meditation. I didn't know that we can take a Zoom session and do a Reiki session and feel the same energies. I didn't know I could even exchange energies while just talking to you. And this is all possible. Like Patri sir, when he talks, it feels like, oh my God, even his recordings have that vibes that, some urja, some energy is touching our souls. This is the power that Mata wanted to create for her staff or her house. I hope I answered your question.
Oh, yes, Surbhi madam. It was beautiful. Thank you
Thank you.
very
Thank you.
much. Yeah. Anyone has any more questions?
Thank you, Kalyani ma'am.
Okay, so Dikshi is not here. I will share the meditation music, Surbhi madam. You can
Okay.
stay or you can leave. I know
I
it's
will
late
I
for
will take
you.
my leave. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone. See you guys all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes. Thank you.
Good night.